Ooh, and another scroll of ID. Let's definitely get that popping here. One of these, I'm kind of hoping that we ID something like degeneration, so I can just throw it out and have some more inventory slots. Like, very much the mentality of just somebody who's lazy with inventory organization, where like strategic value, pretty much nothing whatsoever, but does make my life easier. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Hey Thelfon, how's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Hope your weekend is going lovely. Perfect timing as we just pick up the Orb Destruction and Spellforge Servitor book. That is fantastic. So let's do a bit of a course correction here, shall we? Ozkubu's refrigeration is finally coming down from 100% failure rate, so there is that. Always fantastic. Do we wish to switch back into heavy conjurations and not worry so much about getting that ice? Yeah, Prince, I can definitely second that. Capybaras are just fantastic. So adorable. Belfon used to love Vehement runs. I definitely still enjoy it. I'm not super divisive, in my opinion, on, you know, Sif Muna versus Vehement. I know a lot of people are, and they love one and hate the other, but I like to go back and forth, mix it up a little bit, at least when I'm going for these kind of very much spellcaster-centric deities. And although looking at your scores, you apparently never won one. Hey, well, it might be the time to change that. We can win together, you and I. Capybaras only exist to be cute, vibe, and eat melons. It's great, and that's definitely a lifestyle I can get behind. That's basically what I strive to achieve in life as well, so... an animal after my own heart, as it were. Let's take a look in here. Orb of Destruction already castable. Spellforge Servitor also very close to castable. Okay, I think that potentially confirms it here. Let's train a bit of spellcasting in the back end. And conjurations can continue to be cranked up just a smidge here. Let's bring you up. 17? 18? Let's go 17. I don't use odd numbers enough. I'm all about my like rounded numbers, and especially my multiples of 4 for whatever reason. I'm very much partial to like 8, 12, and 16 as my skill caps to achieve. But that should work out nicely. And we have 3 spell levels, so we'll have to forget something. We need 14, hey? Oof. Might also have to train some baby spellcasting while we're at it. I guess we're very close to leveling up, so that will be a nice additional bit of spell slots there. Let's see where we sit after that. What? Oh, jeez Louise. Tengus are a little bit frightening to say the least, but as long as we get some lucky bounces, shouldn't be the end of the world. I will refuse to fight that 2-headed ogre. I feel like that's definitely gonna get me into some trouble. Let's head over to an unexplored staircase instead, get a bit of breathing room here. They chill with almost any animal. Birds, vibing. Guinea pigs, vibing. Cats and dogs, they all vibing. That's awesome. Are there any places in the world that have capybaras as pets? Don't think I've heard too much about it. Definitely would make a lot of sense, especially if they're that compatible with other animals. So that's usually a huge factor in whether or not people decide to domesticate different animals. Yes, and it's amazing. That is adorable. I'm gonna have to move somewhere with capybaras. Come to that conclusion nice and early in the stream here. It has to be done. Oopsie daisies. Let's not do anything too silly here, shall we? Instead, evoke some blink. Definitely didn't solve all my problems. Let's pause for a moment here. Take hands off the keyboard. But you're not sure where, though? Interesting. I'll have to look it up. Probably somewhere South America, right? Koakar also up there in adorableness? Very true. Very true. Probably not quite so highly rated in the gets along with other animals department. Could be wrong, though. Definitely would be happy to admit if if I was in fact wrong in that regard. Ah, was that troll a shapeshifter? Well, let's get the heck out of Dodge, regardless. Jeez Louise. And yeah, but quokkas eat their young at predators as a shield. That's just classic rodent behavior in a lot of categories. I guess Sakagbar is also rodents, because they're the largest rodents, I believe. Correct? So do they not fall into a lot of the same pitfalls as other rodents? Because I know the majority of rodents out there are opportunistic cannibals. I've learned that firsthand, seeing a bunch of gopher bodies get dragged away by other gophers, and it's horrifying. Turns out, kind of messed up, those gophers. But I guess it's kind of rough out there in the animal kingdom, so food is food a lot of the time. It's fair enough. And yeah, they fall under vibing. Perfect. They even vibe with each other. How about that? Definitely puts them in a category above some other rodents, even though I should say in general, I really like rodents. I mean, rats make such cute pets as well. I've had a couple of friends that have owned rats. None here in Alberta, because in Alberta, they're very strict on cracking down. We have no rat population, and they're trying their best to keep it that way, so you're not allowed them as pets. But friends I've had that do have rats as pets have nothing but great things to say about them. Apparently they're so affectionate and adorable, and I've definitely experienced that a little bit getting to hang out with them. Apparently rats and tarantulas are two of those animals that make super affectionate, cute pets that people don't really think of, or at least a lot of people have a bit of a negative interpretation of them as animals. Full in prison works if you move out of line of sight. It does indeed, Belfon. The Squid Napper, the Kraken, Mr. Incredible, or Incredible, and the super deep cut for all of us fans of early German expressionism, Dr. Calamari. I can't say I understand it, but I'm glad you're putting up those feelers, those references for anyone who can appreciate the deep cuts. And yeah, as Jenny mentioned, it's one of the huge advantages of Fulminant, especially for things like when you come across very early game, hello Dorgomo. Electric eels or anything like that, because you can very much just cheese the ever-living crap out of them. Squid Napper is amazing for a stealth build, for sure. I like the Kraken. I like Incredible. It's hard to put the right emphasis there. I need to work out the kinks in my language on that one. Yeah, might have to add those all to the list though, for sure. I mean, as mentioned before, something naturally invisible? Hopefully just an unseen horror? Nope, that is a ghost moth. I'm gonna read teleport right away, and let's get the heck out of Dodge. In fact, I don't want to live here anymore. It's a famous film. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari is considered a masterpiece. I'll have to check it out. I'm not super familiar with a lot of deep cut films. I definitely think of myself as somebody who very much enjoys movies. I went through a phase when I was a teenager of like towing the line towards cinephile, but it was mostly towards terrible, crappy movies rather than brilliant masterpieces. But I've been trying to correct that a little bit now that I'm older, because I very much enjoy movies and don't have as much time to watch them. So as much as I adore watching terrible film, it's nice every once in a while to just get the good stuff. But first, super epic magic builds, maybe Cthulhu. like it for sure. Don't even realize ghost moths could spawn in dungeon. I feel like it's a shapeshifter, because we saw the Entropy Weaver, and then all of a sudden the door opened and it was a Joragumo. And then a little bit later, after escaping that, we saw the ghost moth. So it could be a shapeshifter, or it's a weird little spider-themed chamber that just released all of its denizens upon the dungeon. What situation? Been to Lair Orc rune branches, so not to either of the rune branches yet in Lair. Most of Lair done, still have 6 to go, of course. Or alternatively, we could head back up to Orc and see how we fared there. Spiders shouldn't go too badly for us. IMB does very wonderful work amongst that crowd for sure. Layer 6 we could check out, see if it is a terrifying end vault or something manageable. Let's take a peek into Orc though. We're still relatively nearby and it's on the way up. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, it says he'd also say shapeshifter. That's kind of the best case scenario, because if there's a whole selection of spiders there, then it's going to be a wee bit rough. I say knowing full well that we have to go into the spider branch, which is just going to be that, but way worse. Still, be that as it may, slightly terrifying. We'll see how it goes. Let's just waste all of our magic while standing on the stairs here, seeing as how we can, for the most part. I think we have another option, so we can always start dancing between the two if it becomes necessary. And let's get some damage out there, shall we? Just setting up as many of these fulminant prisms as necessary. Oh, workshops, please bless us with the invis this run. Or, you know, just rings in general. I'm not even going to be too picky about it, DCSS. If you want to, you know, join the cool kids and give me something incredible, you'd be really popular, it'd be really cool and fun, and people would like you, DCSS, if you could be so kind. Maybe, just maybe. And reset once more here. Just make an incredible amount of noise and get blasting. Yeah, orcs just have a lot of pointy things, and squids are well known for resisting hexes and stuff. If only that transferred as well into the game, but I believe it. I'm calling it Staff Elemental Mastery in a shop. Ooh, if you are willing to bless us with such a prediction, then I believe it. I'm totally for it. As controversial as it may be, I'm down to get one of the most powerful unrand arts in the game. Bit of a bold choice, I know, but what can I say? I'm just brave like that sometimes. I'm here to say the difficult things that other people aren't willing to. Like, good stuff is good. Okie dokie. It's definitely manageable thus far, so I like that. Jen, you're an official awful player on Clevies. You personally would go straight to layer 6. I mean, and I think that you're not alone in that. I think that is the majority of people follow that same route. I just have my weird particular pathing options, I guess, that I've gotten very much used to. And I mean, they serve me decently well, so I'm happy to keep it up, as it were. Let's see how we do against you, my friend. Oof, not as much damage as I would have liked to see. I guess Mind Blast? Perfect. That will start to fall off pretty soon here against enemies that all have higher willpower than works for us. So that's perfect. Rubber, you're an official greater player on Kelby. You'd also do layer 6, if layer 6 no longer exists in Trunk. So yeah, there we go. That's definitely how I thought that would be met, because I know a lot of people kind of fall into that same strategy for sure. Halberd of Distortion. That's probably going to be a nope from me, dog. I guess if we let you step up, you might hit me, so let's just get the heck out of dodge. Jeez Louise. It offers you airstrike, clearly he has been told about the nerfs. Oh, would you look at that? There it is. I mean, I'm not totally against it, but right now we're just saving up. We want these bad boys here. OOD and Spellforce Servitor, nothing. Jeez Louise. Well, you're a good player, and hearing that layer 6 is gone just makes you feel more tired at the thought of playing another game of this. It used to feel like a real challenge, now it feels like a tedious gauntlet. Right? But I feel like, for me, I'm always of the opinion that I'm sure I'll love it, and I'll just end up enjoying it more than I did before. I mean, I think a lot of people were kind of against the original shortening way back in the day when, you know, dungeon was 27 floors, all of the special areas were a bunch higher than they were now. I'm not even going to hazard a guess. I don't remember whatsoever. In general, I think making them a bit more concise hasn't been too bad, and they've kind of towed the line in making sure to keep things nice and interesting. Oh gosh. Well, that's not as safe as I was hoping. Let's take our new friends on just a small stroll here. Jeez Louise. Just keep these kiddos blast off us. Specifically while they're mited, I am not paid enough to deal with that level of difficulty. Here we go. Okay, and turns out Orc 2 might have to wait. We've dipped our toes in the water and we've discovered it is scalding hot. So let's get the heck out of there. Maybe we will do layer 6 and take a peek real quick. Asen was mad about Holy Word being removed. You wonder how he's doing. Right, because Holy Word, I guess... I'm trying to remember what the kind of equivalent exchange there was. Was it that it swapped for like a wand? Something like that? But agreed, early game feels worse, even ignoring opportunity attacks. For sure. Thelfun, I guess that was a reply to Thelfun saying feels like early game is just getting harder and harder to resolve. Difficulty scaling is way off. Fair enough, especially depending on which, what kind of backgrounds you enjoy playing. Like when they first made the melee monster change, monster melee change is maybe the better organization of that phrase. It really kind of made playing melee characters a lot harder, while spellcasters kind of stayed the same, which worked for me because I'm very much a fan of spellcaster backgrounds, but definitely a bit of a shift in overall game ethos, I guess. Don't really know what I'm talking about, but I'll just pretend I do. Perfect. Are we gonna get any of you Death Yaks before we go? Not sure if we will. Let's just go with a couple more IMBs, see where that leaves us, and then just get the heck out of there. We've made a lot of noise, called a lot of attention to ourselves, and then we switch to the other stairs, like a sneaky boy should. We have to be slightly cautious of elephants for sure. Make sure we don't get pushed off, especially since both the stairs are really close by here. So that's going to be interesting to say the least. Let us go back here and mark this one off so I don't accidentally go down into the horde. Okie dokie. Selvin used to play this on your phone for a while. Well, Community Uni, you got the SSH client, a good keyboard app. We'll lay out and play it online. I've seen that a couple times on the Reddit, I feel, is probably where I saw it. And Jenny, you do this on PS4, but then you need a keyboard. That's so interesting. Yeah, all the different avenues and ways to do it. I might just be dead. I'm not dead. Scroll of Fear. Everyone could back away. Okay, you friend, 36 damage. Let's take you upstairs because I don't want to deal with you in conjunction with the rest of our friends. And there we go. Make the gap. Then we start blasting. And we should be just fine now to deal with you. Fantastic. Don't know if I want to go down any of these stairs anymore. So maybe layer 6 also off limits for the time being, as much as I hate to admit it. Oof, oof. Where could we go instead? We could start our S branches. We don't have any poison resistance for Spider. Good damage, but no poison resistance. Souls? Also slightly terrifying with only 2 AC. I feel like a single javelin to the face is about all it will take. We are in a rough spot. Kind of get into this middling section. I guess back to regular dungeon is probably our best bet. Remember when Prism was our entire offense? Do you mean like earlier this run, or are you talking about the Genie run? Where we were killing orbs of fire with Fulminant Prism because it was pretty much the only thing that would even tickle them. Yes, again, apologies, Rubbery. Holy Hand Grenade, of course, of course. Though less so on that character, seeing as how it came from within rather than without. But let's double check the regular dungeon, I guess. Let's try and keep the momentum going in one way or another, and take a quick peek. Right, Ghost Moth friend was why we left. Now let's see. Aha. If you shapeshifted into that, which it definitely was a shapeshifter, so that could be the same culprit, then I am a very happy camper. That is fantastic. The Genie run? Yeah, no, it was definitely pretty wild. Nothing but Prism to kill everything. We did get Lightning Bolt, but yeah, just by the time we got to Zot, it was not doing anything to all of our friends down there. But yeah, nothing but Fulminant Prism and just every defensive or like utility spell in the game, at least all of our high level ones. Because yeah, what did we have? We had Death's Door, Bjornir's Revivification, and we had one of the teleport ones, Dispersal or see, and this happened last week too. Never remember the other one. I just remember Dispersal's name, but there's another, the like level 7 or level 8 translocation one. So definitely a wild run though, no matter how you slice it. It was a weird one. Jenny, you currently live in a residential facility, so you got to use a lot of loopholes. Segueing off that, content has helped you a lot getting through the boredom feeling alone. I'm super glad and grateful for that. I appreciate you mentioned it, Jenny. Even on YouTube, feels like I'm really there having fun. Super happy you got Twitch set up to be able to show your support, and I'm glad to have you here for sure, joining all the lovely folks in the community. Always have a fantastic time, for sure. So no, I'm super glad to, in any way, shape, or form, help out any of you out there. And I hope you all enjoy hanging out as much as I do, because I truly do just have one heck of a time. So I think that is truly fantastic. Where the heck did our friend, slimy friend, go though? Not to immediately throw a wrench into this lovely, wholesome moment. Apologies for that, but no, I'm glad, Jenny. I hope that things pick up a little bit and you're able to get through that. Feeling bored and alone is definitely a rough combination, so I very much feel you on that, and hope that things are looking up in general. But I will still be here if you need someone to hang out with, at least virtually. As much as we can, we'll hang out with one another over Twitch here. More than happy to try and fill that role. Ooh, it's role requirement, don't mind if I do. D19, have a senior citizen discount. You vaguely remember playing 0.10 but didn't get a win until 0.16. Yeah, I played very old versions, but when would I have gone my first win? It wasn't in this most recent return, like a couple years ago when I kind of came back to the game. But the one before that, so it's probably in like the high teens version, so relatively similar to you, Rubbery, if I had to guess. But Thalfun, you started around the same point, 0.10. Not sure as to when you first played offline. That win was 0.12. Nice, nice. Yeah, I played a lot, probably around the same time, 0.10, something like that. Didn't really consistently get anywhere, especially since I largely did theme-based runs where I was just kind of goofing off and having a good time. But yeah, I eventually got the first win after many years of just doing that, and then finally deciding, you know, I should probably actually try and figure out what the heck this game is actually about. And then I just kept smashing mountain dwarves against the wall until something stuck. And I think my first win was after finally giving up on that and deciding, hey, let's check out these gargoyles and see how it goes. And then I managed to get through with a gargoyle of Quaslal. I think was actually my very first win in the game. So a bit of a weird combo for sure, but I guess also makes a certain amount of sense, seeing as how Quaslal is a bit of a snowball god. As long as you're strong enough to deal with anything that comes your way, making noise isn't exactly a big deal, and Quaslal does help murder things for sure, in a big way. Thalfun, you'd never in a million years want to go back to the 0.10, 0.12 days, but you'd probably go back to like 0.19. I think so too. As much as I'd love to be able to evaporate bodies and throw potions and throw daggers, I don't think I could handle losing out on a lot of the quality of life changes. Yeah, the quality of life improvements are nice and you find it too frustrating these days. That's fair enough for sure. What, you think you're misremembering version numbers? Jenny, you think you started 0.18, but your memory's dog water, so you're probably wrong. See, that's why on my end, I think I'm in the same boat as you, and I also have no real recollection. but I just chose a number arbitrarily, closed my eyes, any mini miny mo, and just said it with confidence and hoped that nobody would know differently, which I'd be very surprised if any of you did. Any of you were secretly guardians over me as a young teen. Okie dokie. This son of a gun definitely getting us in a bit of trouble. That rock absolutely slamming us. That's exactly why we were scared of the original Cyclops that we found. Which, now that I think about it, don't know what happened to them. We never fought them. Huh. Remember, each update has parts you like and parts you're less fond of. Can't go back to having food, though, just too annoying. See, yeah, that's one of those little ones. I still do every once in a while, because my infinite character is still in 0.25, but I don't love it. Don't love it. Maybe 0.28, you just remember a 7 or 8 at the end. That's fair enough. I mean, it would have been pretty recent with 0.28, so I think you were right the first time. Somewhere around, like, 0.18, that makes sense. I returned to the game in 0.24. That was, like, a couple years ago, maybe a few years ago. Oh my gosh, how time flies. It's the whole COVID dilation thing, where the last, like, 3 years, basically I condensed that time frame in my mind to, like, a couple of months. So when I say 3 years ago, that's, like, middle of my university days, but probably I guess more like 5. Wow, I'm getting old. How about that? Well, my friend, let's just make you run into a Fulmin Prism real quick. Take some of the onus off of us to do any hard work. Did you jumped, didn't you, my friend? Well, then let's head back upstairs. Rock hurt bad indeed. And yeah, Brain, I agree. Definitely a lot of good quality of life. Food existing at all was a bit pointless, but not a huge pain. Food using up 7+ inventory slots, definitely could do without. But how else could you have, like, your grapes and your pizza? Can't forget your pizza. I think there were sausages. I mean, so many things. And, like, there was also the royal jelly, right? The jelly that you got from the royal jelly. It was, like, super, it was like lambas bread, essentially. We're not going to survive shoals, my dude. And that's why we're pushing that off for the time being. We're seeing if we can get any work done on these other floors, because I agree. I am terrified of just the idea of shoals. It's rough. But shoals is Squidward's natural habitat, surely has a home advantage, right? And maybe we'll run into the rest of the crew there and we can get some helping hands. I'm sure it will go smoothly. No javelins will impale our soft, supple rubber belly. I'm sure it will go just fantastic. It's all about the power of positive energy, right, my friends? I'm wearing some positive energy rings in real life over here. That's all it takes. But you think uni left huge gaps in your memory, Thelfon? Yeah, you discovered you not only owned a copy of Dragon Quest IX, but played it and have a completed save with your name. Could not remember anything about that game. I feel you there. Yeah, uni, I learned a lot of stuff. I forgot way more than I learned. Though, to be fair, largely that was content. I feel like I got through a year or a semester's course, finished my exams, was like, that's definitely at least a pass, hopefully a much higher grade than that. And then I would promptly forget it, so that the next time the, like, level 2 of that course came around, I'd have to relearn everything anyway. That's because my brain just kind of works that way, which, you know, to be more explicit, I mean, not very well, unfortunately. Oh, my Tengu friend. And hey, Dr. Power, mutagenic chunks are the only food you need. Feel you there. Mutagenic chunks, or again, if we go back to early versions, then what you do is you take that mutagenic chunk, you distill it to its natural liquid form, and then you just chug those bad boys left and right. That was my go-to move. I loved playing Transmuter start, and you just crossed your fingers and hope that A, you ran into a Sky Beast early on, and B, you were strong enough to kill it, and then free lottery ticket to the mutagenic lottery. I mean, don't mind if I do. Meat ration, bread ration, royal jelly, pizza, fruit chunks, round chunks, mutagenic chunks, right? All of them. Well, I love that fruit is even narrowing it down, because really you had fruit, but it was like grapes sometimes, it was bananas sometimes, And the grapes and stuff were ridiculous, where you'd have a stack of 20, you'd go down 1 pip of hunger, and then you'd eat all 20 of them in one fell swoop. Though, to be fair, realistic that wouldn't fill you up, but it's still kind of a pain in the butt. Also, had that recommended to you so many times, and it seems like a really sparse RNG heavy game. Are you talking about Pixel Dungeon there? Because Jenny mentioned that you love DCSS at first sight, because it was a way fuller version of Pixel Dungeon on mobile. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that, but interesting. That was when I was playing Demons also, right? Definitely a lot of the time, but I was all over the place. I mean, I really enjoyed the Forgotten Realms series from R.A. Salvatore, so I felt like I oftentimes just roleplayed as various characters from my favorite books. I guess not even just those books, but really any book I was enjoying at the time. Had a decent odds of me trying to roleplay my way through on a character. I think I can hit both of you. Fantastic. Oh, I'm in range. Let's change that. Lovely. Oh gosh, well, I think we're just going to commit to this one. Oh, and it works out. Turns out, just roll well, Forehead. It's that easy. If you remember correctly, Thelvon, they looked like different fruits on the floor, but they all became just fruit in your inventory. So I thought that was maybe a change that was made at one point along the way. I think way back when, it was a bit more influx and they were all different ones, but that was not 7+ food slots or inventory slots of food. That was like half your inventory at minimum would have been various food things, or you'd find a good place to store the rations, because the rations were great to hold on to for the future when you wanted to reduce those slots down as much as you possibly could. But I could definitely be remembering wrong. Again, my mind also just a sieve when it comes to these early years.